Welcome back to Bull Sessions here on 680 KFEQ. Got a question that you want Brad to answer on the show? Got an idea for the show? Email the guys at bull@willcross.net. Now, here's Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
Okay, we're back to Bull Sessions on 680 KFEQ. You know, we'd talked earlier, we had a guest lined up to come on, and a tree blew down on his house. He had stuff going on, and our buddy James Fisher here at Eagle Radio jumped in to fill in, and it's been an awesome show so far. He's got a lot of insightful stuff on the community. We're all about community, farming, faith, family, freedom.
And this show is called Bull Sessions, and so I fit in perfectly.
You fit in perfectly. But we got a lot more stuff we want to talk to James about. But first, this segment, we do our Focus on the Farmer.
Who do we got this week, Randy?
Bradley, this week takes us to Gallatin, Mizzou.
Okay.
It's to the Gay family. Do you remember Harold Gay, Keith, Wes?
Yes.
Them guys? Yeah, family farm. We're all about that.
All right.
Harold and Ruth, they were the original starters of this family farm. Harold got out of the service and went to work for, I think, a farmer in Trenton. And then he bought one over in Gallatin, and that's what started their deal. Right now, of course, Ruth, she passed away about 6 years ago. She was a wonderful lady. Harold, he's just been gone a year and a half. Do you remember him coming up? Great, big, strong, stout gentleman. He was as raw-boned as they are.
Would I have delivered beans there right on Highway 6?
Yep, you did.
Okay.
Right past that Gallatin Junction, get off in the bottom and back off in there. Yeah. Nice farmland over there. Mm-hmm. I really admired him a lot. He was pretty firm, precise. He was an excellent manager. I kind of know something about his firmness. I think I messed up a delivery or something back years ago, and I was the first to know about it. Wasn't loud or ugly, but it was look you in the eye and say, what are you going to do about this? So we going to do something about it. Yes, sir.
When you make a mistake, you correct those mistakes.
You do.
Yep.
Very wise, and he passed those farm values, just like what we're talking about, the community. He done for the community, and he did. He passed that on to his son Keith and his son Wes, and they've carried on with the family farm out there. They don't have any cattle. They're all row crop all the way. Keith and his wife Tammy, Wes and his wife Marcy, and like I said, they're carrying on this family tradition. Wes and Marcy have two children, Millie 3 and Abe 1. I love that name. You don't hear that anymore.
No,
Abe.
Like those old names.
You can name your fourth child Abe, Bradley. You probably got another one coming anyway.
No.
Keith and Tammy also have a daughter, Emily, who is a loan officer at the FSA in Portageville. She's married to Ryan Wilson. He manages a CPS store over there. So they're in ag the
people.
whole bunch. Yeah. Crop Protection Services. That's what that stands for, I believe,
Yes.
isn't it? James, help me out here.
That sounds correct.
Yes, again, just like what this show has developed into and what we so promote is our communities, the family farm, the family businesses.
Yes.
It's a big deal. And
It is.
and we've got to continue it. It's just
to help
our
us,
heritage, our legacy.
To help us continue this and to highlight all these, maybe there's a farmer or a lady in ag or someone that you would like to highlight. Maybe they had some issue they made it through or going through, or somebody that's just doing good or really helped you out. If you would like to nominate them to be our Lady in Ag or our Focus on Our Farmer, send us an email, bull@willcross.net. Stop in the office, the north end of King City, look for them big shiny grain bins, and, call us even. 660-535-444. We would love to hear from you. We love getting some feedback.
Yes.
And like I always say, if you don't want to talk to Randy, just tell the girls and you can talk to me.
He's always working very diligently. Bradley,
Yeah.
not so much.
I understand.
Maybe they could talk to Andrew. His
Andrew's
number was
around.
it was 816-261, wasn't
I
it?
don't know what it is. You better not do that, Bradley.
I think what I'm going to
Call the office and we'll direct you to Andrew.
I think what I'll do is I need to start giving the first numbers one week and then the next numbers the last four. Do you think that would work?
You will. You're going
Absolutely.
to start such
That will work. And actually, just speaking from experience, if you pass some names on to people, Randy and Brad do actually pay attention to not people who are nominated. I know that you recognize one of my good friends, actually like a little sister to me a couple of weeks ago, Cheryl Berry. You recognized her as a woman in agriculture for all the deed that she has done. But I grew up on a very small family farm, but actually it was the Berry family that I worked for 9 years, all through high school and college, and there for a little bit afterwards. And
she told me you was just like her brother too. She told me that when I was talking with her on the phone.
They are. They're as closer than true family sometimes. And there's a whole lineup of broken equipment up in what they call their old orchard of things that I tore up while I worked there in that 9 years. So
they may need to call Gene.
So that list of things that annoy your boss, Chuck and Sharon Berry probably have that for me. So
they may need to call Gene Miller on AgriShops.
Gene likes selling good quality equipment, not broken equipment.
Oh, this is all the stuff you broke up.
This
it's
is
up
all
there in the boneyard.
Yeah, it's in the boneyard.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
And it's a great weekend for grilling. So maybe you could invite them over for a nice ribeye or maybe a top sirloin, Angus steak.
T-bone works.
Yeah.
You could go over there to Bargo Angus and pick something up on the way and just loop back around.
Now, what would James know about Angus cattle? I don't know.
Probably,
James, have you?
Well, I would know a little bit about Angus cattle. For one, we raise Angus cattle. My brother, my family has Angus cattle, but in addition, I worked for the American Angus Association for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
Dick Spader was the executive director there at the time and gave me an opportunity to start. I actually worked for the Polled Hereford Association for 2 years before that. And so personally, I believe there's good quality and good genetics in most breeds of cattle and that you can use those to create incredible steaks and incredible product to put on the grill. But I had a great opportunity for 18 years working for the Angus Association. Probably the biggest part of that was I traveled 120 to 140 nights a year all across the country, into Canada and Mexico a few times. And I worked with the youth programs and then their shows, things like the American Royal, the state fairs, the National Western Stock Show, all across the country. And so the opportunity really in what I enjoyed the most was working with the people and the quality of people that were out there, coordinating the youth programs on the national level. I often said I got to work with the top level kids involved in agriculture that you will find anywhere in the world because, and where this comes back to is these kids are highly motivated, but really where it comes back to is their parents are highly motivated and it's a
taught
family.
them how to work.
Yeah, and it's a family situation. I mean, when we would have the National Junior Show in Des Moines, Iowa or in Kansas City and people would travel with a pickup and trailer from Sacramento, California or Pullman, Washington or Idaho or New Mexico, and they would be in a truck for 20 hours. Mom and dad and their 2 kids or 3 kids in the pickup with the trailer on the back. That type of family time. A lot of families that we see today don't spend that much time in a year together, let alone
in a confined
space. And then they get to the show and they work together. They they work not only together as a family, but at those events, at the youth events, we stalled them as a state. So they had to learn to work with the other people from their state association to work together and have a combined effort. So they learned how to not only work together as family, but how to work together in a group of people for a common cause.
You bet. It goes right back. That's where we learn these values.
It is.
And that should be the example to everyone else. And I think we are. We just I wish I could see it.
That example that we learn at a young age. I mean, and if you're out there and you have a young kid, a child, get them involved in an agricultural project. Get them involved. Take them to the farm, helping you. I mean, my great niece, she's 4 years old, and once in a while she gets to go with her dad. Her dad's family, they dairy for one, and then they also raise cattle, and they have row crops. They have and so Tanner will go with her dad once in a while and on the farm and be able to just. And she loves it. She loves
already.
it. She loves spending time there with her dad and all. And to be honest, her dad loves having her there. But
that's the bonding. That's where it all comes.
Yeah, I was going to say, watching that interaction between Tanner and her dad, Chris, it's just phenomenal.
It is. And I remember at a very young age, as long as I could remember, those seeds planted in my mind, and you never forget them, and you're just always drawn to it.
Absolutely.
It makes families stronger. That's what it's all about.
It really is. It's about that, creating that family. And family is not always the people you're related to by blood. A lot of times it's the people that you associate with and communicate with and that are involved in your life on a daily basis really tend to grow into what you consider family.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to have to wrap up, James. I'm going to read my scripture.
Pleasure to talk to you, James.
It is. It's been awesome. You got to come back again. The scripture this week is Luke 12:16 through 20. Then he spoke a parable to them, saying, "The ground of a certain rich man yielded plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, since I have no room to store my crops? So he said, I will do this. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there I will store all my crops and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, you have many goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, Fool, this night your soul will be required of you. Then whose will those things be which you have provided?" So I believe this applies now, today, more than ever, like we've been talking about. And we are thankful God's blessings on Julia Stagner and the Gay family at Gallatin. We're thankful that you are with us today and invite you back next week for another Bull Session right here on 680 KFEQ.
Thanks for joining us for Bull Sessions, brought to you by WX Seed. Randy and Brad will be back next Saturday morning, tackling more topics from farming to livestock, soil to seed, farm equipment to rural life. So be sure to join us next Saturday morning, same time for Bull Sessions, right here on 680 KFEQ.